Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is good with you. Everything's great here. Yeah. So yesterday's video, I said I would come up with something to talk about today, and I didn't. I never did come up with something to talk about yesterday. Well, I did, but it was like late at night, and it was too late. And so I thought I would do it today, but I didn't want to exclude any of you, so we'll put that off until tomorrow. But that idea is inspired by a story that I'm going to share here. So I got two stories today that I want to tell you. They're both pretty quick, so I figured I could pack two stories into this episode. And the first one is about a game. Earlier this week, like Monday, I think, a new game showed up. And I saw it on a thread somewhere and thought, that looks interesting, I'm going to try it. And downloaded it, and it immediately was like, this game is hilarious. It's that kind of game that grabs you because it's so bizarrely awkward, but not in a poorly done way, in a perfectly done way. And so I played it a lot and was immediately addicted to it, and I did a video about it on the gaming channel. I will link to that here in one of those little notification things and in the description. The game is called Gunman Taco Truck, and the premise of the game is basically America accidentally became a nuclear wasteland, and you're the last surviving member of your family's taco truck business, and so you're trying to drive to Canada where it's safe and where they need more taco trucks. So you have a machine gun mounted on the roof of your taco truck, and you're driving cross-country to get there. And so it's kind of like a mix of Oregon Trail, where you're going city to city and you're trying not to run out of supplies. A little bit of like a restaurant manager, where you're filling customers' orders quickly. Bit of a shooter, like a tapping shooter. There's a bunch of stuff coming in lanes and that sort of thing. And it's just altogether really well done, and sound quality was amazing. The graphics are hilarious, very pixely, old school graphics, and I just had a blast playing it. It's extremely difficult. I still haven't made it to Canada yet, and I've played dozens of games. And so I did the video, and I went to sleep. And I didn't go to sleep. I was laying in bed, and I was like, I want to look this up, because everything I saw about the game that day was like, this game is from this guy and his son, and this guy and his son, and I'm like, that name sounds familiar, I don't remember why. So I started to look, and I found the website for the game, and I looked, and I saw the story. Yeah, it was about this stepdad teaching his stepson programming, and this was his stepson's game idea, and so they made it together kind of thing, and that's neat. But it didn't say anything about the guy. But I found a contact form in there. I was like, hey, I really love this game. Thanks for making an awesome game. I made a thing for it. Here's the link, right? And so I woke up the next morning, and I saw that the video had gotten, like 100 views, which is pretty amazing for one of my gaming channel videos, because I have very few subscribers over there. I'm really excited when a shed video hits 100 views, so I'm super excited when, a channel that has 70 subscribers hits 100 views. And I saw one of the comments was, hey, John's tweet sent me here. Excellent view, excellent video, you're really funny. And I was like, oh. So I went searching for this guy on Twitter, and come to find out that the person who made this game is John Romero. And he is one of the founders of ID Software. He created Wolfenstein and Hexen and Doom and Quake and pretty much my entire childhood. Well, not my childhood. My entire teenage years as a PC gamer was sparked by this guy. John Romero. So, he ended up emailing me back and saying thanks, and I thought that was really cool. I said, this is amazing that here we are 20 years later, and you're still making games that inspire me like that. So, that was really fun. I really, that is really fun. And the game's really fun. So, that's story number one. Story number two. We've talked about my job recently and how the state legislature is looking at removing my agency from the picture of West Virginia education. In particular, removing all 8 of us. There's 8 regional agencies that do what we do. And they're looking at cutting us for budget concerns and yada, yada, yada. And pretty much everybody except for the legislatures knows it's a really bad idea, and but the legislators need to save money. We're in a budget shortfall, and we've had budget cuts for 2 years running, and so lots of stuff is happening. And so we're looking for anybody who will fight for us, right? And so we got a local regional delegate to come to our facility and talk to us. It was a big deal. Everybody needs to be here that day. Talk to them, let them know what you do, blah, blah, blah. While I was sick, they spent a couple of days cleaning up the shop where I work, and the whole building got scrubbed down and cleaned and made look really nice for this person to show up on Tuesday. Now, I didn't know much about this person prior to Tuesday, but I know a lot about him now. And as it turns out, he is a new Republican senator for my local county there where I work. And he is 22 years old. Extremely young guy. Is a senator. A legislator in the state of West Virginia. We actually have 4 people currently in the state, 4 legislators in the state of West Virginia who are under 25. So he showed up, and you know what? He was actually really passionate, extremely perceptive, very interested in what we do and why, had asked the right questions, explained to us how this process is going right now in the state legislature, how they're looking at removing budgets and all this stuff. It turned out he was actually pretty top-notch kid. And so he told us, he runs an online business, that's his thing, and so he knows about IT and how important we are to the whole system and stuff. And then he went away. So the story started off as we had a delegate coming to talk to us, and he was a 22-year-old. But it turns out he was actually a really well put together 22-year-old. There are very few of those in this world. And so I did a little research, because we were like, well, what kind of business does this kid run? And as it turns out, it's a photography studio that he started when he was 12 years old. 12 years old, picked up a camera, fell in love, started taking pictures, started getting paid to take pictures, and has built up a small portfolio of pictures that have been, printed nationally. So that's pretty awesome. Passionate, well put together dude, young kid who's going to go make a change in my local legislature, hopefully, wants to fight for us. And it really got me, last night when I had this thought, it's like, that's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about our first jobs. But I didn't want to, I knew if I just put it on social media, I would get people's first jobs out there, but I want to hear about your first jobs. So that's what I want to talk about tomorrow. Comments down below. Obviously, if you want to talk about the taco truck game, go watch the video. We can talk about that down below or on that video's comments. But down below, comments, tell me about your first job experience. If you had like a grass cutting job, if that was really important to you in developing your sense of self, that's fine. But I'm really looking for your first real job. I'm curious to know how many of them are in fast food. So please, tell me a little bit about your first job. If you have any good first job stories. If the comment section is not the place for you, you can always call in and talk to me about your first job at 304-602-7433. That's a great way to do it. Or you can just email me, and I will edit for you. And that's Chevee@thedailyshed.com. If your email goes too long, I will paraphrase. But I want to talk tomorrow about first jobs. I'll tell you about my first job, maybe my first 2 jobs. I don't know. We'll get to that tomorrow. But yeah, that's the topic for tomorrow. 2 quick stories. Thank you for being here. As always, I'm going to go play some video games. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from enchantedlearning.com. Can a shark swim backwards? Unlike fish, sharks cannot stop suddenly or swim backwards. A shark's pectoral fins, those are these, cannot bend upwards like a fish, limiting its swimming ability to forward motion only. If a shark needs to move backwards, it uses gravity to fall. I can just see that.